Well, hello there, my friends. It's just me, Ro, of Healthy Living with Ro D, back to have a little chat with you today. Haven't been very chatty this week. My apologies if I haven't been talking very much in my videos or having the chat or thoughts of the day in the end. But I think it's important that, for me anyway, that I just want to make sure I have something relevant to say, or at least relevant to me, that I think other people might want to hear about. Rather than me just sitting, because I can just sit here and go on and on. You won't know that by now. Anyway, we have a lot of new people who have subscribed. Thank you all so much. It's great to have you. I hope that you're enjoying the videos and that you're finding them helpful. If you're on your journey with Nutrisystem, or you're on a different kind of journey than Nutrisystem to get healthy through weight loss, or if you're even thinking about doing Nutrisystem. Anyway, what do I want to talk about today? Well, I thought long and hard. I had so many things floating around in my head. Mostly these things come to me when I'm driving, when it's useless. But I did watch Kim, a girl in her phone, who weighed in this morning. And kudos, Kim, on that big loss. I hope it goes forward for you in the same way. Even with some ups and downs, because we all have them, but I just am so happy for you that you're changing and going over to Weight Watchers, personal points, that you have continued success with that. If anybody knows Kim, she's had more than her share of struggles with trying different things, but she never gives up. Which brings me to something that Terry and I often talk about. Why do we never give up? Why should we never give up? Well, she and I have been weight loss partners since, I don't know, in the 90s, somewhere in the 90s. Many, many times. And we often talk about health and how to stay healthy, that we want to be healthy, things to do to be healthy, things that we want to try to be healthy, everything like that, every kind of conversation. But one thing that's a recurring theme for us is that we just don't give up. And yeah, there are times we gain weight, but then we always end up managing to lose it. Now, I've said many times in my videos that I never thought I was going to get to goal. And yes, as far as I'm concerned, I am at goal. My lowest that I've weighed in is 129.2. And this morning I was 131.4. So as far as I'm concerned, I've reached goal and I'm maintaining. And that's it. I'm very happy about that. I am celebrating that, but I'm celebrating more that I'm feeling much better and that my clothes are fitting me, quite frankly, than that number on the scale. I need the number on the scale to be there in order to fit in the clothes, but very different feeling this time around, because I don't even know how I got here. I know I did the work. I must have done the work. I am doing the work, continuing it, but I really don't feel inside myself that to take credit for it, because quite frankly, it's almost miraculous to me, because that is the bad place that I was in last August 14th. Coming from that really bad, dark place, that very fearful, scary place, to here is like, wow. So for those of you out there who may be in that really bad, dark place, just don't give up. Eventually you will get there. The critical thing is that you do not give up, because once we give up, then we just probably continue to gain. I know for me, if I hadn't gotten pulled out of myself, that motivation, and yes, my motivation was fear. That is a motivator. It's twice now that that's motivated me to lose weight. Absolute fear. But even with that fear, I did not expect to be able to lose it, because I was just at such a, I can't even describe it, almost like in a vacuum. I just did not know where to turn and what to do next, because nothing was working. And so if you're in that place, I just strongly encourage you to keep on pushing forward, to find that motivation, and to get your head in the game. Now, again, when my head goes in the game, I feel kind of like I don't even have anything to do with it. It's something that just happens to me. And I wish that I could give you like the directions or instructions of how to get there. I don't know them. I don't, when I really stick with something and I follow it through, my head is definitely 1,000% in there. And I'm not talking about perfection by any means, because we're not perfect. And if you go in, to me, if you're going to go into something with the expectation, unless you're doing keto or if you're doing HCG, that's very different ball game. Because if you expect to start fat adapting with keto, you have got to do it to perfection, because there's no fooling around with that. HCG is not going to work for you if you start eating outside of that 500 to 700 calorie window and the very strict things that are on your eating list. Very, very strict. And I've done it. And let me tell you something, losing a pound a day is a beautiful thing. There were many days I lost 0.2, but again, I'm a slow loser. I didn't have as much, that was as much as many other people had to lose, even though it was significant for me. And I have a thyroid issue. So I did follow it to a T, and I kept on going. And 3.5 months later, I lost 53 pounds. But the most critical piece for me was that I felt absolutely healthy. I was completely detoxed. So that is an aside. In terms of strictness and perfectionism, all these other eating plans, I don't want to say they don't require that, because to me, the more you stick with something and do it the way it's put in front of you to do it, the more likely you're to be successful. But then again, there are also some exceptions to that rule, because if you are going to really desire something, or if you're in a situation where your choices are not going to be ultimately great for whatever the reason you got in that situation in terms of what you're going to eat, people can get derailed very easily. But I think by the same token, if you jump back on again tomorrow and continue, you're going to be successful eventually. I mean, you're going to get there. You might only lose 0.2 this week. You may have a gain this week. You may have a maintain. But ultimately, if you keep on going forward with whatever the plan is that you're following, as long as the food you're eating is workable for you, because let's face it, if you tell me to eat cardboard every day, all day long, and I'm going to have to do this for 2 years, I'm not going to be a very happy camper. I'm not here to put on a facade or to lead anybody to believe anything that isn't true coming from me. I'm not here to put on a face. I am who I am, and I say what I feel. Hopefully not to hurt anyone ever. That's not my plan. But I'm also not going to lead you to believe things that are not true about me, because I'm not doing anything for anyone if I did that. Let that be for somebody else to do, not me. But in terms of being realistic, there are going to be times when, for whatever the reason, something is not going to go good in your day that's going to cause you to eat, let's call it off plan, or out of the plan of what you had for the day for your food, and now something happened and you're ending up having a slice of pizza for dinner. So have your slice of pizza, come home and have a salad and call it a day. Eat your dessert. Don't miss your dessert because you had the slice of pizza, because that's not going to lead to good things. That's going to lead to negative thinking and bad feelings. You know, the more we can put all that kind of stuff behind us and just keep moving forward, the more we will get there. That's what works for me. And at this point, as I said, I'm a different person than I was even in 2015 when I became very ill and needed to lose a whole lot of weight very quickly. You know, my mindset when I was done with that, because I was truly detoxed, my body was not asking for anything that it shouldn't, that wasn't healthy for it anymore. And I did maintain my whole foods. I'm not going to call it Mediterranean diet. It probably is the Mediterranean diet, because, but I don't pour olive oil over my food. That to me is an interpretation of that diet that is not I will spray olive oil, but I'm not gonna I don't know. I don't believe that's the message that the plan sends, but I think that some people think that you have to eat lots and lots of olive oil. Basically, what you need to do to eat a whole food plan, Mediterranean, more in the Mediterranean style, which is my heritage, by the way. In my family, we eat olive oil. We don't eat a whole lot of dairy. We do eat fish. The way I was raised, fish, either deep sea fish or like seafood type foods, meats. I don't eat beef. I really don't eat beef. I eat chicken and I eat shrimp. Quite honestly, when I cook, I really don't. I will eat turkey. But so anyway, I'm going off on a total another tangent. But in terms of what you're trying to do, whatever you're trying to do, plan into it, or not so much plan on it. I don't believe in planning a cheat day. That is my own take on it, because that doesn't work for me. Anytime I've tried doing that, to plan Saturday is going to be, unless Saturday is going to be that I go to someone's house or I'm having an event to attend, that's different. But to actually, some people work well with Saturday or Friday night. They're going out, they're having drinks, they're doing whatever, and they're not tracking anything. Some people function beautifully that way. I don't, so I'm not going to ever encourage someone else to. If that's their decision, but I'm not going to ever say you should have a cheat day, only because it doesn't work for me, not because I think it's wrong for somebody to do. But the reason being is what if Jim and I go out on Tuesday afternoon and we decide to have a slice, and Saturday I had a cheat day? Do you see how that really doesn't work for me in my life? Maybe on Tuesday we don't go out. Maybe I don't have pizza at all that week. Maybe I don't. Maybe I do. But the bottom line is, if you put it in your head that the world is not going to end, should you be in a situation where you cannot have what you plan to have for the day, for a meal, one meal, not all day meal, hopefully. And again, if that happens, then tomorrow we pick up where we left off and we don't look back at yesterday, because that to me is what gets us all into a whole lot of dangerous trouble that could derail us indefinitely. So this morning I posted in the Facebook group. I usually post something to motivate us every day, and on my page. And sometimes I put music to it at the end of my videos if I have enough time. But it's a listing. On one side we have the word diet, on the other side we have the word health. In the word diet is the word die, and it's boxed out. And in the word health we have the word heal. And this brought me back to a woman named Meg Moranis. She believes that diets are fattening. She actually, I believe, worked for Nutrisystem for a year, when Nutrisystem used to have be brick and mortar. They used to have actual be in a building. And she is someone that I think everyone would benefit from watching. I think that what she's doing is probably good, but trying to master that while you're trying to lose a tremendous amount of weight, I would give major kudos to someone who could do that. When I first discovered her, would not have ever been able to follow intuitive eating and all of that. Now, I might be able to gravitate toward what she's talking about now that I am basically at goal, if I wanted to. Right now, I don't want to. I am very happy in Nutrisystem. I'm happy with Nutrisystem foods. I really enjoy them. I think that it's critical for me now at this stage of the game to enjoy what I'm eating, where before it didn't matter if I ate grass. I just ate. I don't think I want to be that way, and I really do enjoy. You see how much salad I eat and vegetables, but I don't want to think something is good or bad. I don't want to think that way right now, because I think it's part of who I am at this stage of my life. I don't really know. So I'm interested in her, and I'm interested in studying her concepts. But That's why when I use the phrase our healthy thin mentality, I mean when we are having an emotionally, for me, that means emotionally, I'm in a good place to have healthy weight loss. I'm in a healthy relationship with food again. And that comes and goes for me, as probably it does for most people. But I know for me, when I'm who you see right here now, I am having a healthier relationship with food than I was when I was 160 pounds. So, the list of things that are under diet, see if you can relate to any of these. Mentality focuses on, okay? Food is the enemy. Food groups are the enemy. Carbs are no good for you. Sugar's no good for you. Fat isn't good for you. Processed foods, that whole thing. Food is the enemy. Calories aren't good for us. Food is the enemy. We understand that, right? I have bad habits. I'll tell you that all the time. I can binge at night. If I have certain things in the house, right now tonight, I could do that. Okay? I'm bad. The word bad, negativity. Food is the enemy, negativity. Okay? You see the theme? Things I am doing temporarily. So in other words, I'm going to get this weight off and then I'm going to go about my merry business. I'm not going to worry about being healthy. I'm just going to get this weight off. And then when it gets back on again, I'm just going to take it off. The yo-yo thing, right? I mean, as a young woman, I did this a lot. I could lose 5 pounds in a week if I put my mind to it when I was young. So it's temporary. It's a diet. It's temporary, right? We're not talking about long-term. Okay. A whole list of things I don't like about myself come up. More negativity. I don't like that I enjoy eating ice cream once in a while. I don't like that I enjoy eating Little Debbie's. I don't like that I enjoy having French fries, pizza, whatever, McDonald's. Things I don't like about me. I don't like how I look. I hate how I look. Look at me. I'm fat. I'm ugly. I'm disgusting. Ever had those thoughts? I know I have. The scale. That darn scale. Do we want to throw that scale out the window when we're on a diet? Some days, right? The finish line. I got to goal. Our lives become all about that goal, that number on that scale. Am I making this up? Does it sound familiar? I mean, I know I may sound like I'm being cynical and obnoxious, but I mean, really, do we not all have these feelings at some point or another? Now we go to the health side. I try to use the word health a lot when I talk, because in the end of the day, you get to healthy when you lose the weight. But if you're not healthy, is the real issue. The weight brings all kinds of health issues. And as you get older, if anybody is younger and watching this, it doesn't take much for you to be younger than me at this point. You may not be in that place where you're thinking about your health. I don't know. You may or you may not. I know I wasn't. I was told in my 30s I had a fatty liver. I freaked. I had to have a scan because I was having gallbladder issues. I was 190 pounds. And I went to the doctor. He said, you have to have a scan. And I'm like, oh my God. When he called, I had someone in the office with me. And I said, please stay here. I thought he was going to tell me I had cancer. I had 2 kids at home, a family. And he said, no, you have a fatty liver. And it's not from drinking because I don't drink. It is from poor eating. And I've never been a person that can fit in tremendous amount of food. It's just that if you don't eat right, and I had a sedentary job, I definitely did. This is what happens to you. So, on the health side, mentality focuses on, our mentality is focusing on, food is our fuel. I have had that pleasure in my life after HCG that I looked at food, and I've mentioned more than once, I want to get back to a place where food to me is helping me to live the life I want to live. It is not In other words, I don't live to eat. I eat to live is what I want my life to be about when it comes to food. Yeah, I want to enjoy my food. Yes, I want to go to Terry's house and have a cookie or something that she made that day. She makes delicious homemade bread, awesome homemade bread. Um, you know, I want to have a piece. I don't want to have a loaf. I just want to, I want it to be just fuel for my body or something that I enjoy in the moment, like a celebration type thing. Not that I live to eat, which is where I've been many times before in my life. Because shoving down those feelings, shoving it in to push those bad feelings down. My good habits. Kim talks about this today. She talked about something that she and I also have chatted about before. Okay, so you're in the car. Now, she is diabetic. I am not, but I tend to become hypoglycemic, which is not good at all. Have I ever passed out? No, but I get really, really sick. If you've ever become low blood sugar, it's not a fun place to be. So, but it's also a very dangerous place to be, because if I need to eat, it won't matter what I'm shoving in here when my sugar's low. So I maintain having food with me. Even 5 grapes gets me out of that and in a totally different frame of mind within minutes if I just have 5 grapes in the car. So Kim is riding along and she's feeling a little bit unwell. She knows it's her sugar, so she has to eat. So she pulls out a packet of peanut butter cheddar crackers and I don't know, a sausage stick or something like that, let's say. So I could look upon that and say, Kim, you know those are processed foods, Kim. You're not supposed to be having them, right? Didn't you say that, Kim? Or I could say, Kim, you're having those things in your car in that given moment of any given day with you, or the peanut butter, the Jif that you scoop out, you know, the individual ones, okay, keeps Kim from going in that gas station and eating God only knows what. Having fountain soda full of sugar, pizza, a hamburger, whatever, okay? So looking at, that is a good habit. Believe it or not, it's better than the alternate. So to celebrate that, to me, is very important because of what could happen. And the same thing for me. I have this in the car. Maybe grapes are a little healthier, but regardless, we're not all the same, and we all do the best we can in the moment. If that's what works for the woman, then that's what she has to do. The bottom line is that that is a positive thing next to what would happen if she did not. First of all, she could be dead because she could pass out behind the wheel. But beside that, a major catastrophe could occur. So that's something to celebrate. It's a good habit. It's not a worse habit you could have in that case. Things I want for myself. Things I want for myself, I also want for other people. I want for other people to feel healthy and well, because that's what I want for me. I wish for others what I want for myself. And things I am doing forever. The mind is saying, the mentality is saying, as we're going through our weight loss to get healthy, this is, even if we don't end up doing it forever is a long time. I don't even know what forever is in time, okay? But if the mind is saying, I'm planning to do this forever, that's in a place of positivity. And that's also going to bring better habits along with it, because you're going to be looking at this as permanent, something of permanency, I believe that's the word. The daily choices that we make. Instead of the scale, we're focusing on what we're doing every day, what our choices are, and making better choices for ourselves. The scale is not going to make us lose the weight. It's those choices that we make every day that will make us lose the weight, right? This is a lifelong journey. I know I've said this many times before. Kids, this is not going away. If you have managed to get yourself to morbid obesity, you're going to have to work the rest of your life. And I'm saying this, again, turn me off. Don't ever watch me again. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you that once you lose your weight after you've been morbidly obese, that the chances of you getting back there are not going to be great if you don't make this something in your head that you're going to permanently try to live a healthy lifestyle. Now, I'm not saying you're actually going to permanently do that, but if your head isn't in that game that you are definitely not going to do that. You're going to be right back where you were and worse, because when we go back in game, we gain more. Every time we yo-yo, we screw ourselves up all the way worse. That I can tell you. So this is a lifelong journey, and it has been for me. I've been doing this since I was 8 years old. And back then, I didn't even know what I was doing. I just knew I was that fat little girl that everybody used to call chubby and fatty, and roast veal of pork, and all sorts of other terrible things. But worse than that, it's what I felt in my heart and in my mind about myself. You know, it really doesn't matter what everybody, in the end of the day, it's hurtful what other people might say, especially if you're a kid. But more importantly, you're living within yourself every single day of your life, every waking moment of your life. To have these terrible feelings, to walk around like that, is terrible. It's horrible to live in that state. And to feel like, you know, you're just not worthy. You don't want to feel like that. But yet, this is what happens. You know, and so I just encourage you to go back to the beginning of what I was talking about. Just don't stop fighting for yourself. If you don't fight for yourself, no one else can do that for you. We can help each other through, but Terry and I were talking about a different topic today, but she said, you know, if someone asks for help, you can offer help, and if someone asks for it, you can give help if you choose to give help, if that's what you'd like to do. But if someone isn't seeking help in the first place, you can offer an offer, but you can't fix it for them. So the only people that could fix us is ourselves. We can fix ourselves, and we could try to help others in giving support. And that's it, you know. So I've been talking now for over 27 minutes. So I will thank you very much for your time. It's been a pleasure. I hope that I didn't say anything that was hurtful to you. That wasn't my purpose. I'm not speaking to anyone directly. I'm speaking in very general terms, because I think that a lot of things that we go through in trying to get healthy are very general. I think that most of us have most of the things on the list going on within ourselves, the same struggles and the same successes when we do things that help us to be successful. You know, it's really not rocket science. It doesn't mean it's easy. It does not. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that, because it's not. But it doesn't mean that you can't achieve it and keep it. Okay? So, I'm going to let you go for now. I'm going to say goodbye. And I will see you in the next video. And thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. Bye now.